Xbox has had a very strong 2024, and 2025 is shaping up to be another fantastic year for Game Pass subscribers. Today we'll be going through the 30 best day one games coming to Xbox Game Pass for 2025. There are certainly going to be many more games announced over the coming months, so make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all things Xbox. My name is Fletcher, this is Xbox Nation, and in no particular order, let's dive right in. First up we have Atomfall. Set in the rolling British countryside with idyllic pubs, quaint villages and red phone boxes, it soon becomes clear that things are far from normal. Created by Rebellion, the makers of the much-loved Sniper Elite and Zombie Army franchises, Atomfall is inspired by a real-world nuclear disaster that occurred in northern England. The game follows a fictional storyline where you find yourself in the quarantine zone 5 years after this event. This is a single-player survival action game, and Atomfall blends post-war Britain with Cold War paranoia, folk horror, and elements of a classic British sci-fi to create an immersive and thrilling gameplay experience. It does arrive day one onto Xbox Game Pass sometime in March of 2025. If you like indie games, then we are getting a charming, snow-coated open world in Winter Burrow. This is touted as a cozy woodland survival game where we will control a tiny mouse which is adventuring through brisk environments as you'd search for your lost auntie. Winter Burrow merges comfy, cozy game elements with challenging yet approachable survival mechanics. You will spend time in your burrow, crafting cute decorations to make your surroundings feel homely, knit cozy clothing to stay warm in the cold weather, and make sure you're prepared for those big days of foraging in the forests. This is another Game Pass release on day one and comes to us very soon. Replace shocked us when it was originally shown off a couple of years ago, with some of the best pixel art direction that we've seen in gaming, and everything we've seen so far is building even more hype for this stunning game. With its dark and gritty tone and exceptional looking level design, this is going to be high on every gamer's lists. Replace combines cinematic pixel art and free flow combat with a very deep, engaging dystopian story set in an alternative 1980s. The game did unfortunately have a delay outside of 2024 and will be arriving sometime early in 2025, and I cannot wait to dive headfirst into the world of Phoenix City. Thunderful officially announced Lost in Random: The Eternal Die at Gamescom this year, and it's coming to Xbox Series X and S consoles as a day one addition to Xbox Game Pass. If you enjoyed the original, this next chapter is set to take you even deeper into its eerie and whimsical world. You'll have to explore the Queen of Random's beautifully crafted but twisted realms filled with colourful, bizarre creatures. The gameplay actually mixes immersive isometric combat with board game inspired dungeons, making every single run a unique experience thanks to random infused mechanics. With its incredible rich story and stunning graphics, this game really promises to deliver an experience as enchanting as it is unpredictable. On more of the tactical front, Rebellion is also bringing us another game next year, and that is Sniper Elite Resistance. This game actually runs parallel to Sniper Elite 5, which is also currently in Game Pass, with players actually taking control of a new protagonist called Harry Hawker, who's operating now in the heart of occupied France. While Carl Fairburn is off on his own missions in Sniper Elite 5, Harry will be making use of the series' iconic gameplay, and that still includes stealth tactics, long-range sniping, and the infamous X-ray kill cam. The game will also feature a full-size campaign playable in either solo or co-op mode, along with the return of Invasion mode, which I know was a fan favourite. You can expect Sniper Elite Resistance to hit Xbox Game Pass on day one, sometime in 2025. Sleight of Hand got announced earlier this year and is coming day one onto Game Pass for console and PC next year. This game introduces players to Lady Luck, who is a former detective who has been cast out from her former coven, but is given the opportunity to return to her home at Steeple City and exact her revenge on her betrayers. Players will be able to use Lady Luck's cursed cards to cast smoke-based magic that can help them move stealthily through Steeple City. You'll be able to evaporate into a puff of smoke to evade patrols, take down goons with lethal cards, and create stacked combinations that are undeniably powerful. This studio is actually headed up and ran by industry veterans from Metal Gear Solid, Tomb Raider, and God of War fame, so it's definitely looking to be one of 2025's most anticipated game releases. Compulsion Games' third-person action-adventure game South of Midnight immediately caught our eye with its mix of richly atmospheric settings, its dark folktale elements, and its magical realism inspirations. In South of Midnight, our character Hazel has to become a weaver, and this is someone who can use weaving magic to magically repair and restore dangerous creatures and broken bonds. From what we know so far, Hazel will confront and subdue dangerous creatures, untangle the webs of her own family's shared past, and if she's lucky, find her way to a place that feels like home. Along with the game's dark folktale atmosphere, another aspect which immediately stands out is its distinctive, slightly juddering stop-motion art style. I cannot wait for this unique first-party title to land, and it is slated for a day one release sometime in 2025. I think it's quite easy to say that Fable is probably the most anticipated game for Xbox gamers in 2025, and I expect we'll see more into early next year with a full release window. With Playground Games, the masters behind the Forza Horizon series, at the helm, I think many of us will be in for an absolute treat once the game releases. From the short snippets and trailers we've seen so far at the recent showcases, they seem to have nailed the Fable tropes that we know and love, from dark humour and witty British banter and a gorgeous open world. While we've yet to receive any concrete details about Fable's game mechanics, there were some glimpses of what we might be able to see in the latest trailer. I think this will easily top the charts when it arrives, and it's also a day one launch onto Xbox Game Pass. Now, let's talk about Doom the Dark Ages, and I have to say, this game is looking incredible. This game actually takes fast-paced, brutal combat of Doom and drops it into a brand new medieval setting. Instead of your usual shotguns and plasma rifles, you'll also be wielding swords, axes, and other brutal medieval weapons. But don't worry, the gameplay is still as fast and furious as you expect. The game does feature a mix of melee combat and ranged attacks, with a focus on chaining together combos and using your environment to your advantage. The enemies, as you expected, are just as terrifying as ever, with demonic knights, undead warriors, and other horrors waiting to tear you apart. This game is set for a 2025 release and looks like it's going to deliver the same adrenaline-pumping action that fans of the series really love. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is an upcoming reactive turn-based RPG that will transport you to a beautiful, surrealist new world. As a member of the Expeditioners, they embark on an impossible quest to end the Pinch's cycle of death, and you'll have to journey through a vast and beautiful fantasy world where you'll battle deadly adversaries, befriend fabled creatures, and discover traces of those who came before you. This game really took most people by surprise at the most recent Xbox showcase, and I know many cannot wait for this brand new release. WUCHANG Fallen Feathers is coming day one onto Game Pass, and it's easily one game anticipated for many Souls-like fans. This Souls-like action RPG immerses players in the late Ming Dynasty, a period rife with warring factions and a mysterious illness turning humans into monstrous creatures. You will play as WUCHANG, a pirate warrior struck by amnesia, and you'll explore the depths of Shu. You'll have to enhance your arsenal, master new skills from harvested fallen foes, and evolve your fighting style by sacrificing Red Mercury. This game looks very reminiscent to games like Wolong Fallen Dynasty, and that was an absolute must-play on Xbox Game Pass. From the award-winning developers behind The Artful Escape comes Mixtape. We will get to immerse ourselves in the teenage wasteland, playing through a variety of narrative vignettes whilst exploring the pivotal moments of this game. The story is delivered through a mixtape of comedic, joyful gameplay, from skateboarding and flying to taking photos after hours at an abandoned theme park. This seems similar to games like What Remains of Edith Finch, and it looks like Mixtape ties its narrative to a unique vignette-driven structure that emphasizes variety, surprise, and comedy in its gameplay. I cannot wait to try this one, and it does come to all the Xbox consoles and PC in 2025 with a day one launch onto Game Pass. One game that is actually launching this 2024 but only into early access with a full Xbox release in 2025 is Towerborne. Towerborne is an action RPG from the makers of the Banner Saga trilogy, and it looks like Stoic Studio have a real gem on their hands. You'll begin by creating your own character before diving into the adventure and developing your own playstyle with various skills, gear, and Umbra companions. Most interestingly, Towerborne features an evolving world map and seasonal content, so there will always be new areas to explore, enemies to defeat, and story to experience. It looks fantastic from the gameplay and previews we've seen so far, and I cannot wait for this to land day one onto Xbox Game Pass. I think Xbox surprised us all with the reveal of Clockwork Revolution later last year. This is the last title that I really came to expect out of the creators of the Wasteland franchise, but I'm incredibly excited to find out more about this game. It does bear a striking resemblance to the critically acclaimed Bioshock Infinite from a decade ago, with its rail riding, steam-powered mechs, and guns alongside a colourful powerful old-timey Victoria-era presence. There also seems to be elements of the Dishonored series seemingly present in Clockwork Revolution, as the game world can be altered based on your actions. I can easily see why many gamers want this game now, but currently we do have a 2025 release window. As the one last surprise as the Xbox showcase this year, we got the huge announcement of Gears of War E-Day. This is the next mainline game in the Gears of War universe, set during the pivotal Emergence Day. This is 14 years before Gears of War, and war heroes Marcus Phoenix and Dom Santiago return home to face a new nightmare: the Locust Horde. These subterranean monsters, grotesque and relentless, will erupt from below, laying siege on humanity itself. In the announcement trailer for the series' next major installment, the Coalition teamed up with Blur Studio to create a visually stunning trailer, and it looks fantastic and shows the power of Unreal Engine 5. I wouldn't be ashamed to say that a tear did come to my eye when seeing Dom again, and shows that the Xbox we know and love are certainly coming back. Citizen Sleeper 2 is coming in early 2025, and publishers Fellow Traveler have announced that it's also going to be releasing on Game Pass day one. This was unveiled at the PC Gaming Show, and during its first proper gameplay trailer, Citizen Sleeper 2 will see you wake up in the body of a brand new sleeper android who's fighting for survival out in the Starwood Belt. We've known for quite some time that Citizen Sleeper 2 is going to be a much bigger game than the original, but the most recent trailer gave us a taste of just how large the belt actually is. It will also have its own navigatable map, along with lots of different spaceports and unique locations to visit along the way. Citizen Sleeper 1 was such a unique indie hit when it launched back in 2022, and I know that many of you cannot wait for this brand new release. Marauders is a first-person multiplayer looter shooter, which will be coming to Xbox Game Pass later in 2025. Set in an early 1990s diesel puck alternative future, Marauders will see players step into the boots of a roving space pirate to explore and breach hostile spaceships. You'll have to salvage valuable loot, including an arsenal of iconic weapons from the last century, and do battle with other players and AI enemies in intense multiplayer combats. Players will be able to play this solo or in squads of 4 and equip gear and weapons to increase their chances of survival. This game has now been out on PC for a little while and has some fantastic reviews, and I cannot wait to see this release on console very soon. Believe it or not, but this next game was announced all the way back in 2012 and then seemed to vanish off the face of the planet. Finally, we got to see the re-reveal of Routine later last year, and wow, did this gameplay trailer not disappoint. For those of you that are unaware, this game is a first-person sci-fi horror game, with the game actually being scored by none other than the legendary composer behind the Doom games, Mick Gordon. The short snippet that we've seen shows the player searching for an abandoned lunar base when something goes wrong and exploration turns into survival. The visuals and horror atmosphere are on another level, and I cannot wait for it to finally arrive, and it's coming day one onto Xbox Game Pass. Now, Hollow Knight Silksong is the highly anticipated sequel to the critically acclaimed Hollow Knight, and we have been waiting to hear news about this for quite some time. You will get to explore a vast, beautiful world filled with deadly enemies and hidden secrets. You will actually play as a new protagonist this time called Hornet, who has new unique abilities and combat skills. The game features challenging combat, intricate platforming, and deep lore that really expands that Hollow Knight universe that we know and love. Silksong really promises to build up on the epic Metroidvania experiences that fans will really love, and we are ready to delve into darkness and uncover the mysteries of this enchanting world. We were actually due to have this game arrive onto Game Pass in 2024, but we've heard no murmur from the developers since, so I expect this has been pushed back to a 2025 release. Avowed from Obsidian is another RPG that's got everyone talking. It's actually set in the Pillars of Eternity universe, and Avowed promises to deliver a rich, immersive experience that blends the deep lore of a classic RPG, but with the intense first-person combat of a modern action game. You'll be able to cast powerful spells, swing massive swords, and battle all manner of creatures in a world that's as beautiful as it is dangerous. The game also features a dynamic world that will react to your choices, with multiple factions and a branching storyline that promises to keep you engaged. With a release planned for February of next year, Avowed is definitely one to watch when it comes to Xbox Game Pass. One game that I'm still skeptical about is the upcoming open world dinosaur RPG, Ark 2. Strangely enough, you will play the role of the man himself, Vin Diesel, and experience an epoch-spanning adventure as he seeks to protect his daughter. It's set in an impressive and massive new chaotic world that is overrun by invasive primeval creatures. From what we are hearing so far, the game sounds like a massive improvement to the first entry, and it's insane to think how big this leap could actually be. I might have chuckled though at the thought of Vin Diesel in a video game, but I'll certainly give this go upon release. We recently had the update of Ark Survival Ascended, and it's great to see that massive graphical leap, and I cannot wait to see what they do with Ark 2. Survival game lovers, you will be in for a treat this year, as Voidtrain is arriving onto Xbox Game Pass. In this unique survival game, you'll take on the role of an engineer guiding a steam-powered train through a mysterious void in time and space. As you progress, you'll expand your train, gather resources, and fend off threats in a bizarre, ever-changing world. With its combination of exploration, crafting, and survival elements, Voidtrain offers a one-of-a-kind experience that's sure to keep you hooked. It has been building a solid fan base during its early access period, and now it's ready to hit Xbox Game Pass with full force. In case you missed it, about a month ago, No More Robots premiered a new trailer showing us what's upcoming with Descenders over the next year. Instead of a DLC, which I know many of us were actually expecting, we actually got a brand new announcement of a new game that they're working on. When Descenders next launches next year, it will begin life on a focus on boarding sports. Players will be able to conquer the snowy caps through tight, effortless snowboarding action before taking to the highlands with the grittier feel of mountain boarding. The devs have promised more sports being added on a free and constant basis, so this game is looking to challenge others in the space like Riders Republic. Oh, and if you already missed it, it is coming day one onto Xbox Game Pass when it does release. This next game is a sequel, and the initial game has been on Game Pass for some while, and is synonymous with the achievement hunting community. With a stunning art style and a jazzy, addictive soundtrack, Genesis Noir stole our hearts when it launched back in 2021. Nirvana Noir adds colour this time to the beautifully expanding Noir universe, and even more jazzy tunes for us to enjoy. There will also be a lot of tactile interactions, generative art, simple puzzles, and musical toys that were featured in the first game, but with Nirvana Noir, there seems to be a richer plot, larger environments to explore, and dialogue interactions. It does come day one onto Xbox Game Pass, and it was delayed outside of 2024 and into 2025. Manor Lords arrived earlier this year onto PC Game Pass and was a massive hit upon its release. Manor Lords is described as a medieval strategy game featuring in-depth city building, large-scale tactical battles, and complex economic and social simulations. Amazingly, it's the brainchild of just a single developer, and back in late 2023, it was mentioned that the Xbox version would be coming shortly after the PC launch. However, recent updates seem to indicate that we could be waiting a fair while until the Xbox version arrives, and actually we might be seeing it in 2025. Nevertheless, it has been reiterated on many occasions that Manor Lords Xbox version is a key focus for this team. This next game is one we still don't have much knowledge about, but it's coming from Avalanche, the team behind the Just Cause series. Contraband is a co-op smugglers game set in the fictional world of 1970s Bayern. The developers have stated that this is set to be their most ambitious game to date, with a stunning vast open world filled with beautiful vistas and incredible emergent gameplay movements. From news and leaks, it is rumoured to be arriving sometime in 2025, so make sure you're subscribed for more news and updates for when that drops. Everwild is a new IP from Rare that was first revealed during XO19. At the 2020 Xbox Game Showcase, it was revealed that in Everwild, players will take on the role of an Eternal. They can sense the flow of magic in the world and uses it to maintain the balance in nature, working alongside the strange, fantastical animals. This is actually my most anticipated game from Xbox so far, due to the visuals alone, and it is now rumoured for a late 2025/2026 release window. A new indie game called Harmonium The Musical was announced last year, and it looks to champion beautiful and meaningful stories. This upcoming indie game saw the developers, The Odd Gentleman, work closely with artists and developers from the deaf community. The game has various characters, some with hearing aids and signing to one another. The story seems to follow a young girl who is hard of hearing, exploring how to best explore her love for music. This looks like a great game, especially adding to the inclusion of gamers everywhere, and the plus side is that it's also coming day one to Xbox Game Pass. We don't actually have a fixed release date at the moment, but expect to see more coverage about this game in early 2025. Now, let's talk about something dark and gritty, Vaporworld Over the Mind, and it's coming to Xbox Game Pass, and if you're a fan of Souls-like games, then you will need to keep this one on your radar. It is a 2.5D side-scrolling RPG that's heavily inspired by Sekiro's parrying mechanics and the dark atmospheric vibes of Bloodborne. The game was originally funded for a Kickstarter campaign and smashed through every single milestone set by the community, which means the devs are able to bring all of their ambitious ideas to life. The combat is very fast-paced and unforgiving from what we've seen, and the world looks dripping with dark, moody atmospheres. If you love challenging combat and exploring twisted, dangerous worlds, then Vaporward will be right up your alley when it comes day one. State of Decay 3 has shown up in a massive way this year, and the trailer really amplifies why Xbox gamers need to get excited for this brand new release. We actually received a glimpse of the gameplay at the recent Xbox showcase, and my word, is this a massive upgrade on the second game. With a more of a dark and gritty feel, you'll get to explore this haunting world with up to 4 friends, and it promises to be the biggest world in Undead Labs history. Fans of this series might pick up nods to some franchise staples in the newest trailer, from brutal combat, cooperatively battling back threats to the survival group, opening a car door on a zombie while speeding down the road, and so much more. We did get the recent announcement that State of Decay 2 will be ending support next month, which only means one thing for this brand new game. Unfortunately, we don't actually have a release date for this new entry, but it will be coming to Xbox Game Pass day one with a rumored window of 2025. Which Xbox Game Pass game are you excited for next year? Let me know in the comments below. For me, it has to be Fable or Everwild, and I cannot wait to see more gameplay into next year. Whilst you're here, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, make sure you subscribed and hit that notification bell for more Xbox content every single day, and whilst here, why don't you check out our most recent video covering the best new Xbox games coming to Xbox and Xbox Game Pass in this coming week.